It's early 2023, and if you are looking for a new password manager, you are not alone. There are many people who are looking for a place to keep all of their digital secrets that is focused on security and focused on privacy. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at NordPass. NordPass is a password manager that is put out by the same company that does NordVPN. They are very privacy focused, and there's some advantages that they have that other password managers don't. So we're going to take a look. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kathy Zant. I have been teaching people how to secure their digital lives, both in WordPress and otherwise, for a very long time. I first got into security in the 1990s when the web server I inherited from someone else got hacked. I was sent off to security school, and I have been baking security into everything I do ever since. I want to share the secrets that I've learned with you so that you can secure your digital life. So let's talk about NordPass and talk about why I'm so excited about this particular password manager. First of all, they have two different plans. They have a plan for business and they have a plan for personal. Let's talk about the personal plan first, because I know a lot of you have been using a different password manager and are looking for something else, and NordPass has great features. First, I would like to talk about the security features. We've heard about encryption and AES 256 encryption and how that is uncrackable, but it is also very slow and it can be very cumbersome. It is reliant on hardware to be able to do actual encryption and decryption. XChaCha20 encryption, which you can go and research. There's some articles up in Wikipedia, and I'll put those in the description box down below as well, is a much more modern encryption method. XChaCha20 encryption algorithm is the one that is being used by NordPass, and it's the only password manager that's using this much more modern encryption method. So if you are future focused and you want to make sure that you're using a password manager that is using the latest and greatest encryption, XChaCha20 and NordPass is the solution. Now, zero-knowledge architecture is, of course, very important, and there are other password managers that do this, but you want to make sure that whatever you're using is something that is going to give the password management organization, the cloud company that's managing these vaults, zero knowledge of what you're storing in them. So what's actually happening when you're storing a password in NordPass is you're entering in your credentials, whether you're using it on an app or your mobile device, or if you're using it just in the browser itself. You can do all of that with NordPass. You want to make sure that whatever is happening has end-to-end encryption. So you're entering in your password and you're saving it, and that information is being encrypted on your device, on your laptop or your computer, or in the browser, and then that is stored in the cloud, transmitted to the cloud service over end-to-end encryption connection, so that the password management company doesn't know what's in there at all. Another great thing about NordPass is they don't have a hybridized situation like LastPass did when there was a problem with those vaults being exposed, and some of that data, actually most of that data, was exposed. We wouldn't see that type of situation happening here with NordPass because there is zero knowledge. Another great feature about NordPass, and we'll also talk about this when we get to the business section, is that NordPass is based in Panama, where there are no requirements by law enforcement that information has to be turned over about customers. As such, that privacy consideration is incredibly important because they are also the makers of NordVPN. That has been a concern for people to make sure that what they are browsing over a VPN is being held in strictest of confidence. Same type of privacy considerations are being applied here. So there is no jurisdiction in which NordPass has to turn over your information, so they don't have to keep that information known to them. That adds an extra layer of privacy on top of the security that you're getting here. And of course, there's multi-factor authentication, which is incredibly important as well. You want to make sure that you have a master password and you also have that multi-factor authentication. Some other additional features that they have with the personal program is that you can save passwords with a click, log in automatically, easily import your passwords, and you can have a browser extension for almost all of the popular browsers, including Google Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Brave, Opera, and Safari. Sync those passwords across all of your devices, so if you have NordPass on your mobile phone and you're out and about and need your bank's password, for example, you can still have access to that. You can get the NordPass app on Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, and iOS. all great information to know. Now, I'm going to geek out a little bit here about passwordless future. Passkeys are going to kill passwords. And I will have a video explaining in depth what passkeys are and how they work in a future video. But as I'm getting this one ready, I found this blog post from just a few weeks ago about how NordPass is going to be going passwordless and how they are going to be implementing passkeys. So this is extremely exciting. We've been using passwords for a long time. I'm sure you have a password from 20 years ago that you have completely forgotten about on some random site somewhere that has your dog's name, your cat's name, or maybe your children's name. Back in the day, we could get away with passwords that were familiar to us. That doesn't work anymore. And with the volume of breaches, let's see how bad it is. Take a look at that. We have 12 billion pwned accounts, and that includes DoorDash accounts, Twitter, 200 million accounts, just a ton of accounts. And then there's all of these collections here. And if you click on this, you see that there have been large collections of credential stuffing lists on various hacking forums. So basically, if you have a password, it is probably in a breach somewhere. Probably one of the reasons why it's good to rotate passwords and to use two-factor authentication wherever you can. Unfortunately, studies are showing that less than 30% of people are actually using two-factor authentication. Now, the great thing about passkeys is that this is based upon a public-private key pair. So the website or the application has the public key and your private key is stored on your device. Now, the great thing about what NordPass is bringing here, they're going to bring the passkey technology to all of their users very early in 2023, and this is so exciting to me. In my role at Stellar WP, I'm very familiar with what passkeys are doing because iTheme Security has brought passkeys to WordPress, and passwordless has so many benefits. Tech giants like Microsoft, Apple, and Google are all bringing passkeys to the forefront. We are at the very early stages of bringing passkeys to all users, and it's great to see that NordPass is jumping on this. I am just geeked, completely excited about this. So by early 2023, very soon, NordPass is set to introduce passwordless authentication, both for individuals and businesses. So you will be able to save your passkeys, if desired, in an encrypted vault and use them to access online services. So if you are, for example, say you have a Windows machine and you have a Mac machine and you have a passkey set up on your Windows machine, but you have to do something on your Mac machine with the same website, getting those passkeys situated can be a challenge, but this is going to be very cool, and I'm very excited for NordPass to bring this forward. Another thing to consider with passkeys is that they can't be phished. According to PhishMe, 91% of all breaches start with a phishing email for corporate accounts, which will segue into the benefits of NordPass for businesses. And now this could be interesting too for individuals as well. Let's say you're managing passwords for your family. So you want to share passwords with the kids, but not all of the passwords with the kids. If you are managing passwords for a nonprofit organization and you want to be able to share the Twitter password with just a couple of people, managing passwords and sharing them with many different people, many different types of accounts is so much easier when you're dealing with a password manager, and it's so much safer. I know lots of people who share passwords over texts or share passwords via email or Slack messages. Those are things that security professionals obviously discourage because those passwords get legs. Password managers solve this. Obviously, you can go visit this all on your own and learn more about some of these benefits. But here's a benefit that you have both in the personal and business accounts: data breach scanning, password health. Another thing that I really wanted to point out too for businesses is this NordPass business white paper. And there will be a link to that in the description box below, because this gives you an overview. If you are not using a password manager for your organization, or if your organization was using LastPass, this is something that you really need to consider. This explains how this password management system actually works. And this is definitely good for you to share with your C-suite so you can get kind of an understanding of how identity and item management works. So this is on page 8. So you'll see this identity. So this may be Joe, and Joe has access to item 2 and item 6, but not item 5. This also explains how that private public key pair works as it's associated with identities and those those items. So I just wanted to highlight that because that information is really important here. As a business customer evaluating password and credential management, compliance is incredibly important. ISO certification is not an easy certification to get, and the fact that NordPass Business Information Security Management System is certified according to ISO standards, SOC 2 Type 1 audit, and so much more. You can see all of this on their website, but it's just something I wanted to highlight for business customers. Now that we've seen some of the key benefits of NordPass, let's take a quick look at the user interface. Once you get NordPass installed on your computer, you'll be brought to this Get Started screen. This gives you some prompts to install the browser extension, create your first passwords by either adding a new password or importing a password file, saving a recovery code, and of course, getting NordPass mobile app if that's something you want to do. I've imported a few test items here. You can see that we've got an email account with a password, and it gives you an idea of whether or not that password is a strong password. We have some other options here. If I wanted to move that to a folder, for example, if I wanted to put this with my email accounts, I could do that. We could also store credit card numbers. Obviously, this isn't a real one, but you could have all of your credit card information stored in here if that's something you wanted to do, and then notes. And of course, you can share these notes when needed. We have an Adobe account here as well, and we've stored that into our folders over here. So you can quickly add folders and organize all of your passwords. You can search for these as well very quickly and easily. You can find your passwords. Of course, we can share items here. We can add our personal information. Generating passwords, also incredibly easy, and there's some parameters that you can add here as well if you wanted extremely complex passwords. If you wanted to go this route and do some strong passwords that are phrases, you can add as many phrases as you'd like to make things more complex, and you can separate those however it makes sense for you depending on the sites and how you want to do things. You can also look at your password health. So if you have weak passwords, it would tell you that. Any reused passwords, old passwords, and this great feature, which is a premium feature, is a data breach scanner to see if your email addresses or your credit card information has been found anywhere on the dark web. So we can take a look at some of these. I mean, I've had this email address for a good part of forever. Animal Jam, I'm just going to have to blame my children for this one. So it's telling you exactly what was exposed in this particular breach, so you can change things as needed. Cafe Press, again, another very old account. It will tell me exactly what was exposed in that particular breach. And you'll see a lot of these breach compilations as well as collections, so you can go change passwords on an as-needed basis. There's also this emergency access feature, so you can give access to someone by email in case of an emergency. This is a very simple, easy-to-use interface, and the web and the mobile interface is easy to use as well. Syncing passwords across multiple devices, also very easy to do. One thing that is not a part of this particular password manager is two-factor authentication. But again, that's something I would recommend that you store in a separate place. I would recommend that you use an app on your phone for those types of things. If you're trying to secure all of your accounts, having 2FA factors stored in a different place would make things more complicated should a vault like this ever be exposed. Of course, there are some passwords you would not want to have stored in your password manager. That is something that you'll have to decide on a case-by-case basis. Some things like crypto passwords you want to store in a much more secure way, maybe even offline, whereas things that you want easy and fast access to would be things that you would want to use a cloud-based, privacy-aware, and very secure password manager like NordPass. I hope this overview gave you an idea of the benefits of NordPass. Again, as a summary, NordPass has modern state-of-the-art encryption. They are privacy-focused, and they give you all of the tools you need to make passwords easier. Of course, you can get this deal if you go to nordpass.com NordPass.com/KathyZant. You can get a 2-year plus 1 month free premium plan if you are looking for individual personal plan. And if you're a business looking to manage credentials across a large number of people, the business plan is amazing. So just go to NordPass.com/KathyZantBusiness. The links are in the description box in the comments below. You can get everything that you need. Figure out exactly which plan you want and start securing your business using the state-of-the-art encryption that only NordPass offers. Thanks for watching this video. If this video helped you understand the benefits of NordPass, the benefits of encryption, the benefits of passkeys, give me a like. Also follow me if you want more news and great features to help make your digital life more secure. Thanks for watching.